Hi everyone.
Hey, hey everybody, this is Dan, and well, not in Japan right now, in Philadelphia, but still on planet Earth. What's going on, everyone? Hope everyone had a good week or weekend or whatever it is now, midweek, I guess. I hope everybody's having a good midweek. And we got Alex today. Joe Arminio is away on assignment. And we're here for your questioning pleasure and also have some updates for you. So, yeah, from my end, we've been working on, of course, exchanges, and also in particular, we've been working on integrating or having talks with exchanges about integrating Rosen into the exchange, or having the exchange utilize Rosen. So those have been really interesting conversations. Had some really good ones, and we will update you as more information becomes available, as they say. Also, the course with SWU should be available shortly. The curriculum has been finalized, so that will also be available for fellow Ergonauts and others yearning to utilize Ergo for their many endeavors. Yeah, and other than that, just been kind of moving along and really trying to bring in more interesting players into the ecosystem. And yeah, that's about it from my end. How about yourself, Alex? What have you been up to?
Yeah, so a lot of stuff, a lot of things. From not development, where a new version will be released today or tomorrow, even. To a lot of projects I'm talking with or testing or whatever. Such as Oracle pools, Sigmafy, which are getting some new contracts in addition to existing ones. For Oracle pools, some final testing on the testnet. So there is Gold Oracle on the testnet explorer already, so you can track visually how Oracle pools are working well in the second iteration of the protocol. Yeah, a lot of stuff. So probably will be covered in the developers update. So recently, also, we had. Joyful talk with Sigma nodes, Sigma update on how to get some profits from on-chain activities on Ergo. So the first part was with Gaza, second part with me. Yeah, have pleasure. And a lot of things going on in the community. So likely I will have some kind of town hall meetings or community meetings, new ones next week. Stay tuned.
All right, awesome. Thanks a lot, Alex. And let's get some questions going. Hang on one second. All right, so there's a good question. Let me see. Just want to make sure it shows up right here because I am navigating from a different medium today. Okay, so I don't know if we can see the question here. let's see. Anyway, I don't think we can actually see the question here. Unfortunately, we'll fix that in just a minute. But the question: how do Cardano dids differ from Ergo dids, and how would they be implemented? And so, I mean, to answer the question, really, I mean, as far as I have been utilizing them, really, dids are almost, the actual did software itself. A lot of times, is blockchain agnostic. So, um, it depends on what kind of software you're using on top. Whether it is a Talo or MAX or whatever else you use for your actual did for your actual did UI. Um, Both can be used, and in fact, I've seen both used, and it's really just about information hashing. So, I mean, I can't really think of any significant differences. Can you think of anything, Alex?
Can I think about what? Sorry.
So the question is, how will Ergo dids differ from incorporated with Cardano dids? There's being digital identities.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. So, probably, well, what I have in mind is ergo names, right? But nothing more than that. And,
Yeah, but I mean, it's
so for ergo names, we need to invite probably developers. I'm not quite following ergo names, to be honest.
well, I think in general they're asking what would be the core differences in deploying digital identities on Ergo and Cardano and how they would cooperate. And like I said, I mean, the core difference a lot of times is in the UI, but on the back end, quite a few did suites are fairly blockchain agnostic. So you could use Cardano or Ergo with these suites.
Yeah, so I think so the difference is like 95% of chain. So UI and external databases and so on. So,
Yeah, exactly.
well, for Ergo, well, maybe you can have support for off-chain protocols using authenticated trees, which is useful for building off-chain databases, basically with on-chain commitments. Well, secured with smart contracts. I don't know what is Cardano's counterpart. So, but
Yeah,
yes, aside of that, yeah, it's mostly about off-chain difference.
yeah. I mean, that's basically what comes to mind when I think about it, and just personally thinking about that because this is something that we're going to be deploying in Palmyra, and yeah, it's most of the difference is off chain. On chain, it's actually pretty straightforward about how it works.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, actually, that's interesting. So, maybe we can have a talk with Palmyra engineers.
Yeah.
Maybe some Ergo Pulse update.
Yeah, I think there will be an interesting Ergo Pulse for us to talk about the what's under the hood of Palmyra. So we definitely will make that happen. Cool. Okay. Well, I think we tackled that question well enough. So let's see. We got some really nice. Really nice questions here. Okay, so okay, so there's okay, so this is a good question about Rosen. I'm sure that some people have questions about what we're doing about it. So the question here is from Yannick Wand. I think Wande or Wand. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. It's a Dan with Rosen Bridge coming soon. Is preparation for media coverage ongoing? The project was in development, huge milestone, important stuff for the whole crypto cosmos. Yes. So, well, first of all, we are, doing a lot of promotion from the side and just from the community side, of course, as far as letting people know about what it is and how it's going to work. I mean, there's obviously been quite a lot of buzz in all the communities that are around us, the Cardano community as well as others. As far as media coverage, I don't believe we have any actual specifically media coverage in the pipeline. Although I might be mistaken. I know. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alex. Actual media coverage, I don't think we have any. But I think the point here is not really to go and make articles about it in crypto news. A lot of times these things are completely useless. It's really about business development and promoting Rosen's use by the industry players and the stakeholders. And essentially, that's what Joe and I have been doing. We've been talking to various key stakeholders in the industry. We've been talking to dev teams. We've been talking to, like I said, in the beginning, exchanges, and trying to get them to utilize the bridge. And I mean, that's really where the adoption is going to come from. So, I mean, that is the best way to go about marketing. That's what we believe. That's what we've been following along. Hopefully that answers your question. Do you have anything to add to that, Alex?
Yeah, so needs to ask marketing folks actually, but I agree. So, what's good about Rosen Bridge is that it's already built. So, the testing, semi-public testing among Argonauts already going on, and with Rosen Bridge, so it's just about utility rights. So I mean, if it's needed, people will use it. I think pretty much the same thing is with SigmaFi, which is slowly but surely growing. Because it's providing convenient tools to raise funding for activities such as trading and so on. So for profitable activities, then it's just profit which is driving adoption rates, probably the best driver. Much better than sponsored articles or whatever.
Yeah, that's absolutely it. I mean, look, this is a product that is, I mean, we're not selling bubble gum, right? So you can't just go and start blasting, blasting in a regular media. That makes no sense. Crypto media is also pretty much useless as far as promoting any kind of real utility like this. So again, this is why it is very important for us to, of course, be active on socials and be active where the users would be, but also to be proactive in promoting integration with the bridge. So again, this is what we're mainly concentrating on. Alrighty, let's see. So this is a good tech question for Alex right here, and so it comes from Nakmok, and the question is: would there be meaningful benefits of replacing Blake 2B with Blake 3? Would it require a hard fork? Is it worth considering? What are your thoughts, Alex?
Oh, so the last question is probably the easiest one. So it's not needed. So Blake 3 is basically Blake 2 with reduced number of rounds. Right, so number of iterations inside the hash function. So the thing is, for most of crypto primitives, so teams which are working on the primitives are getting some number from theoretical considerations and non-practical attacks issues, right? And then they are multiplying this secure number of rounds of iterations by some coefficient, right? Just to be sure. So that's done for SHA-256, Blake 2, and so on. So Blake 3 is taking a little bit more risk by reducing number of rounds, without taking extra space, right, for security. It is making a hash function more efficient then. But yeah, if you're already on Blake 2, so and if its efficiency is enough, then there is no point basically in switching to Blake 3. So it could be useful to consider Blake 3 if you are not using anything, right? Especially if you are on constrained devices, right? So if you are doing, a lot of hashes, but that's not the case in the blockchain environment even. So, there is cryptocurrency, at least one known, which is using Blake 3 as a proof of work algorithm, but then it's not ASIC resistant at all. So it's more friendly to ASICs than other options, even theoretically. But still, someone needs to build those ASIC devices, and this is not the case still.
All right, thanks for that, Alex. And also, we've got another good question here. And let me see. The question is, what do you think about WERG and wrapped ERG for using, for using on other chains? So, what do you think, Alex? What do you think about wrapped ERG?
I don't know. So, wrapped ERG is a way to use ERG on another blockchain, right? So what to think about here is about security of the wrapping, right? So how's your wrapped ERG is backed basically. And then it is about assumptions, right? Is it maybe a centralized gateway? Then this wrapping is not very good. For example, currently there is a big drama in the Waves ecosystem because, people cannot withdraw wrapped assets for like 3 months or like that for some wrapped assets. So sometimes, the Waves Exchange team is paying out for withdrawal requests. Sometimes, the withdrawal requests are stuck for months. Then you have some better option, which is federated, multi-signature bridge, right, which is backing the wrapping. There are a lot of details here, right? A lot of hacks we already know when there are no signers in multi-sig, or when there are some issues with multi-sig contracts, as was with Wormhole, which used vulnerable multi-sig contract on Solana. And so on. There is some ideal world which is about building trustless smart contract-based relays. It's not efficient at all, not realistic. At the moment. In case of Rosen bridge, it's still federated, but it's trying to reduce number of assumptions, trying to avoid all the complexities, need for complex contracts outside of Ergo blockchain, and so on, right? So, it's doing the best it can do to be the most secure option in the second class.
All right, thanks a lot, Alex. So we also have another question from Yannick, Yannick Wand, and again, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. And this is for me. And Yannick is asking, can you go a bit into detail about the payment solution part of Palmyra? Which currency will Palmyra supply or support? I'm sorry. Right. So one of the key parts of creating software that is meant for mainstream usage is options. So, and that's very important because you can't force business to do things the way you want them to do things, even if the way you want them to do things is actually better for them. A lot of times, especially when payments are concerned, this is, it's a fairly time-consuming process, which we're willing to partake in. However, this is why we're going to be offering various types of payment solutions. Well, first of all, we're working with a fairly large fintech company to potentially be our payment rail and on-off ramp for crypto payments. So essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing traditional payments, which are credit cards and bank transfer. But of course, also we will be plugging in crypto payments, and in fact, we got requests for those at our workshops, which was very interesting. And also, the DeFi side of Palmyra is going to be very interesting because also the payment rails, of course, most of the DeFi is going to be in crypto, but it will have to also go back and forth between payments with crypto or remittances in crypto and remittances in fiat, because there are some local jurisdictional compliance that needs to happen. So I guess TLDR question. The answer to that question would be a variety of payment solutions is what we're looking to use. All righty. Let's see. Another good question. And we do have quite a few good ones. Let's see. So we got a question from Luke Graysmith. And the question is, can you comment on the possibility? I'm sorry. Can you comment on the possibility of autolycos to use GPT or POUW, proof of useful work? Can it simultaneously generate minor unique GPT results as well as attempt to find smallest hash? What would be your take on this, Alex?
Hard to say actually. So we need to use some proof of useful work based function. And so, we discussed options like that as a candidate for proof of useful work. Function for maybe some Ergo sidechain, but actually a lot of tricky details on the way, especially if you touch mining. So you need to be sure. There is no shortcuts, right? So, theoretically, proof of useful work protocol is closing such things, but for practical instantiations, still it's better to check such things with guys who are proficient in mining hardware, algorithms and so on. Then a lot of questions about economy of all that stuff, right? So if we are paying for something useful to miners, then this about some market rights, presumably on-chain market for useful work to get done. But then these markets will have a lot of possible issues in regards with interacting with consensus, right? The market is based on, by the way. It's the very uncharted area, let's say. Still a lot of work ahead, even before starting to write the code.
All right, thanks a lot, Alex. And actually, we have another question here for you. And this one, let me see. Let me see. Well, I think I might have lost it here. Okay, here it is. It's from Augustus Kent. And so the question is, Kushti, you're always working on the node. Can you please explain it to someone who is non-technical what exactly you do you work on, and how do improvements affect the big picture?
All right. So the node is basically software which is joining peer-to-peer network and then doing well, some things there, right? So, well, initially it's bootstrapping itself, so downloading the blockchain. Then with the blockchains, it is well broadcasting new blocks transactions. It's accepting transactions submitted to the node. And yeah, it is also extracting required data from the blockchain to present to users. And users are mostly bots which are using Nodes API to interact with the blockchain, right? And then, in Ergo, there are actually a lot of ways to be compliant with the network, right? But storing different kind of data. So you can store the whole blockchain with current set of unspent coins, right, to validate new transactions. Or you can avoid storing the current state and ask other nodes for proofs, and they will send you a generated proof, so you have the same security but storing different data. Then you can store just some suffix of the full blockchain, so not all the full blocks and so on. All right, and still the node is participating in the life of the network, right? So it's providing blocks and transactions when asked, if possible, right? If it's storing them actually. And it is validating blocks, accepting or rejecting them. So, and there must be consensus. But basically you write software which has the goal to be in consensus, right? When other nodes are behaving well, so following the protocol. That's it, basically.
All right, thanks, Alex. And let's see, we had another good question for you here. Okay, so Sahar asks, "Hi, everyone. Everyone meaning you and I. What's your opinion about Alphium Kushti?"
If it's real Sahar, Sahar is very known in one specific Telegram group. Guy who is shilling hard Alphium there, actually. And this is the baseless group, which is full of some degen content. You can find a lot of weirdness there, including shilling of Alphium. But what is the question aside of shilling the Alphium even here?
Well, so what do you think about Alphium?
Oh, yeah. It's pretty interesting. So, Alphium is actually that's cryptocurrency which is using Blake 3. It is having some interesting tweaks to emission algorithm called proof of less work. Still it's not quite clear how it will work in the wild. And yeah, it also has some sharding, but yeah, I need to actually check what are security guarantees. And today, Alphium had lemon protocol upgrade, so now it will support contracts as far as I know. And yeah, so they have plans for bridges, including a bridge with Ergo. So let's see how it goes. And yeah, actually, they sponsor it, co-sponsor it, one of the Ergo hacks, like 6 months ago, like that. So yeah, it's kind of new breeds of proof of work protocols, pretty much like Ergo.
Excellent. So, and we have one more question from Hermit Crab. He says, well, I would suppose it's a he, maybe a she, Miss Hermit Crab. I don't know. It says, hey guys, the developers from Ergo, okay, well, I think what they're trying to say is, do Ergo developers help with projects like Night Owl Casino? So basically, our core developers are also involved in working in other projects on in the Ergo ecosystem. So, I mean, I think we can both answer that, and I mean, yeah, it's you know, core developers are free to to work on whatever projects, and a lot of times they will engage with other projects. We don't have like an integration team at the Ergo Foundation that will go out and work with projects specifically tasked to do that. However, there is a lot of help from the community. Everybody's very open for for helping everybody else, which is what's great about the Ergo community. And of course, like I said, I had always had very good luck with reaching out and tapping all of our core developers for help, for input, and potentially for collaboration. So it is available, but it is not available in, I would say, a formal format. But again, I mean, my personal feelings about the foundation model and cryptocurrency and blockchain governance is that it's not the foundation's job to go out there and formally help out projects or subsidize projects or shortlist projects for help, because really, even though I understand from one hand you're really trying to engage to better the ecosystem. On the other hand, right away it polarizes things, because who do you pick, right? So who do you pick to help? I mean, do you help this one project over another project? How do you prioritize these things? Which is why, yeah, it's not an easy question, but it's also something that I think the foundation specifically should be very neutral about, and it should be left up to the individuals of what projects they engage in. What are your thoughts on that, Alex?
Yeah, a lot of tricky questions here, like possible conflicts of interests, and yeah, possibility for projects to even push co-developers, right, to change the core protocol in some ways which are beneficial for one application or a certain class of applications, but harmful for others, which is actually yeah, pretty unnoticed, but painful topic. So yeah, I witnessed actually some stories before in and NXT ecosystem, and not only. So yeah, well, for that reason, initially, we had a rule that yeah, co-developers must avoid to participate in projects, especially getting funding. But yeah, well, currently, well, there is no such a rule effectively, but still, yes, somehow, well, I believe co-developers must avoid possible conflicts of interest and preserve net neutrality of the core protocol, right? So it should be open to well, all the applications, which is well, quite tricky, right? Because well, there are also some limits, right, on the core protocol, and well, if some applications are spamming the blockchain, then developers are usually doing something. But on the other hand, it's not to be taken to the extreme. So even in the Bitcoin community, a lot of such dramas. So in recent days, there were a lot of dramas about NFTs on the Bitcoin, right? And even some very old developers in the core development well pushed for well, actually filtering out NFTs. Right. So, well, it's not good in my opinion. I mean, even if you personally recognize Bitcoin as a payment system, but there is some clever hack to do NFTs on top of Bitcoin, then why not? So why should developers intervene in such matters? A lot of trick questions here in regards with co-developers and EF in case of Ergo. So, well, the Ergo Foundation initially provided some grants for projects such as Oracle Pools, CQSD, then ErgoDex, now Spectrum, and yeah, Rosen also getting a grant. Actually, so well, yeah, it's the very tricky question which one to pick. So at the moment, well, probably the Ergo Foundation will decline most of submissions, right? But yeah, I can't recall the last submission, even probably it was a long time ago. So maybe only for some well, common goods, maybe socially good applications grants are possible after Rosen.
All right, thanks a lot, Alex. And let's find a good question to kind of wrap things up with today, since we're almost at the top of the hour here. All right, so let's see. 1 second. Let's find a good question. Okay, this is a good question right here. So, what are Ergo POW competition as far as other projects providing layer one support smart contracts? So, Alex, well, I mean, what do you think are the main competitors to Ergo today that provide you know, some of the same features that we provide as far as smart contract support? layer one?
No, I don't really know because contracts are different. So, well, in regards with proof of work, what's Alphium is getting is probably different. So, as I stated recently in Twitter, Ergo centered applications such as Ergo Mixer, Lithos, Oracle Pools, Chain Cache, Sigmafy, and so on. So usually, they're about peer-to-peer agreements, or even maybe agreements between different peer-to-peer networks with some minimally needed, so pretty lean agreements on the blockchain. Which is quite different from DeFi on Ethereum, for example, right? When DeFi is basically about, accessing some contract which is living as a single instance, right? Usually has some governance. All right, so possibility to update contract, maybe even to blacklist participants. Then it has usually centralized UI all the time and so on. Right, so in case of Ergo, so for not all, but many applications, maybe most of applications. So, contracts are about peer-to-peer agreements. Right. So, for example, a good example I already mentioned during KMAs is Ergo auctions. Every auction is a separate contract, right? So you have UI, but which is maybe the same as OpenSea and so on. But under the hood, so every auction is a peer-to-peer contract between a seller and bidders, right? One of them to be a buyer. That's quite a different story. Well, on all the levels, right? In regards with possibility to pull a rug, to update the protocol to blacklist addresses about possible legal consequences and definitions and so on. From proof of work cryptocurrencies. So I don't know. So Ethereum was different when it was proof of work, and I need to check Alphium, but I guess it's different. So Bitcoin maybe has similar concept, but to limited contracts and without hope to see anything more powerful. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Alex. I think, I know we're a couple of minutes early, but I think this is a good place to leave it off for the week. So also, quite a few developments happening on the Zengate end. We're speaking of Ergo adoption. And I'm also very excited to start working on the actual stack. Already been having those conversations, and it'll be really interesting to use Scala with Ergo script and to build out the first components of Palmyra. So really looking forward to that. Once I come back from all of my travels, we'll start building this out, and hopefully we'll have an MVP in about 3.5 months. And of course, as much as possible, things will be open source, so the community can see what's under the hood. Yeah, so this is a really exciting time, and also, of course, looking to utilize Rosen. I've been speaking to MHS Sam about utilizing it. So at this point, they can still they're working with fungible assets, and pretty soon they're going to have non-fungible support as well, which is also very important for myself and for Palmyra, because we are going to be using Ergo NFTs for tokenization. And of course, these NFTs will have to have the capability to go cross-chain, mainly between Ergo and Cardano. So yeah, I will keep you guys updated on how this develops. All right, well, I guess that's where we're going to leave it off for this week. So thanks a lot for joining, everyone, and you have a good rest of the week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, everyone. Nice questions, as always. Have a good weekend.